on the Susquehanna River today with my cousin David and his sons Naya and Soren, and the river's coming up. You can see how muddy it is. What this is going to do is really concentrate the fish into a pretty tight cluster of eddies that is adjacent to the spawning sites that they're going to be. We've actually had a cold snap. It's mid-April, and these fish have already moved towards the spots where they're going to be spawning. They're not spawning yet, but they've gotten near them. But with this cold snap, they're certainly going to be slowed down. We're probably going to need to fish a little bit slower than we would have 3 days ago when we had 80-degree water or 80-degree air temperatures. With the high water and the cold rain that we had last night, we actually had a little bit of snow mixed in. Fish are going to be slowed down a little bit, but the good news is they're going to be clustered in tight eddies that are going to be, like I said, near the spawning habitat that we'll find them in later this spring. Right now we're running the motor because we're going to get some river behind us. We're making tracks down to a spot where I know a lot of fish spawn, and we're running the motor. We're coming up on some ledge rocks here. The reason that we're getting downstream all at once is we got a couple tributaries up here that are spewing mud. So I want to get out of that muddy water and get down to what hasn't muddied yet. From one bank to the other, you got each bank is running muddy and high. It's all coming up, but the middle of the river, it's still clean. On a big river like this, the middle of the river takes a while to muddy up from one bank to the other. As much, but I got this. That's definitely a big fat female. She's got eggs in there. She liked my tube. Threw that up in these little scrub islands. We'll go ahead and get her back in so she can make more. You can see the foam in here is a lot slower, and pretty much everything with this river level is up a lot more than, all the current out in the main river is really cranking, but right here the foam is just moving along nice and slow. She was up in that brush, right up in there. So she's stepping out of the way of the river as it's coming up. Let him come up to the surface. He's hooked good, so. Scoop him. All right, that's a good fish. Yep. That's a probably 19-inch smallmouth there. And as the pattern is this time of year, what I said, that these fish are near where they're going to spawn. If you look immediately downstream, you see a rock garden there. Now this is some deep water immediately upstream from there, but they get near they're in deep water right next to where they spawn. So we'll go ahead and get a quick pic of this guy and then let her go. What do you think of that fish?
It's huge.
You want to catch one? Mm-hmm. All right, you're up next. Let's go ahead and throw that one back. There he goes. Sweet. You're next. There it is, Naya's first ever smallmouth 21-incher. All right, go ahead and toss her back. She's got to make some baby smallmouth. Nice going, man. See it. Whenever you need to pull more line out, you want to just pull it like that. And that's about the right amount that that you want to cast. Lift them up. I'm gonna get the net. Oh, that was a nice one. Nice. Lift them up. All right, you reeled them right to the tip. Let's get them. Nice. All right, now open the bail. Nice, man. There's your first smallmouth. Did he pull pretty good?
Huh?
Did he pull pretty good? Yeah, you're not afraid of him. All right, grab him by the lip and then support him with this side, and I'll unhook him. Look, the hook came right out. You want to get a picture of him? All right. All right, guys, you ready for some whitewater?
Yeah.
Cool. This one at this level is a class 3 rapid. Something that in my kayak is a lot bouncier than it's going to be in this, but it's still going to be a lot of fun going down in the cataract. You can see how that hole in front of us would really eat up a kayak if you turned at it sideways. About to get real bouncy and splashy, guys. Hold on. All right, pretty good day, guys. Did you have fun? What was your favorite part?
Catching the fish.
Catching the fish, good answer. Did you like the whitewater?
Yeah.
Cool. Well, you guys hit it on a good day, for sure. This river's got a lot more water in it than it usually does, so hope you like the Susquehanna River. We got one more drop to go through, guys. Here we go. So any day that she can get somebody out and have them catch their personal best or their first fish is a pretty cool thing to be out there and experience, let alone having 2 kids who have never been out there and done it before, and to catch such a big fish. I know that memory will certainly stick with Naya a long time, even if we didn't get it on film. Him catching it, it was something I'll never forget, and I'm sure he won't either. So let's take a look at the pattern that brought us to that fish. Overall, when you have a rising river in the spring, you need to find them in places near where they're going to spawn, and his 21 incher was just upstream from a major rock garden, and there's a lot of nice spawning habitat here. We got some earlier in the day near a scrub island. He was tucked into some calm water, but below a scrub island. That certainly could have been a spawning habitat somewhere in there, but this one was a major one, and we got a couple fish in these eddies just immediately up from that rock garden. Now, because it was really rising and up and a little bit muddy, and this mid part of the river they were not in. They had jumped up onto the bank, and certainly I think they moved to the bank because as it floods in, they actually get access to things, I think, on the bank that they wouldn't have been able to get at and eat otherwise. And most of the fish were caught right on the bank as it was rising. That'll change a little bit as the river comes back down. They will migrate out towards the eddy seam. So let's take a look at, and I'm going to cover up half of this. at each eddy, and you want to look at it in terms of, each eddy is a 3D structure. So this is sort of a top-down view. Super fast water out here, faster, and this is, also fast water. But this right out in the middle of the river is screaming fast. And here's our eddy seam, and I think we as fishermen look at these, read the surface of the water, which is a two-dimensional thing that we look at, and we can see the eddy seam, and we can see where it changes from fast to sort of gentle billowing in turbulence to still water right up on the bank. And then, you can see the tree trunks that we were skipping tubes up into, and he was right up on the bank. What I think we need to look at is what that looks like from a cutaway, the side view of the river. Now, I'll say that this eddy seam probably doesn't, have a linear structure just like we see it up here. It could be that, there's something out there that causes the eddy seam to drift out into the river a little bit more, or the opposite. It could be that it cuts in and your fast water creeps in a good bit to this sort of overall triangle of what we see up on the surface. So you're going to feel that when you put your bottom bouncers down there. Is it being swept away? Even if there's some gentle turbulence or gentle water up above it on the surface, you'll feel it. But just keep in mind and think of it in terms of a 3D structure. Again, with the rising river that we had, they were on the bank. The stream flow gauge for that flood was coming up like this, and then it came back down. We were hitting it right here on the way up. As the river, the stream flow gauge starts to drop, you're going to find fish, in this part where the river is coming down, you're going to find them more on the eddy seam, or in this gentle turbulence. So on any given day, they could be, in that aggressive spot near the eddy seam, or they are fully retreated up towards the bank. And I don't think it's fully retreated. I think they're eating things up there. So keep in mind, the river level as you analyze each eddy as a 3D structure. And then, of course, you got to be near the spawning habitat. The ones that produce the better fish were somewhere immediately upstream or immediately downstream of the places that here in another month or 3 weeks or so that they're actually going to be spawning in.